Alright, what's up you guys? Welcome to this another impromptu Wednesday night live stream as we are officially at San Diego Comic-Con. Well, the prelude show. How is everybody doing tonight? Welcome to tonight's stream as apparently it already started and there's already a GIJOE Classified booth display already, so we're going to take a look at all those amazing images and figures that are up on display. If you want to go ahead and see any of the images, I have the link right there in the pinned comments, and then I'll also put it in the description once the live stream is over. But how's it going, Miss? How's it going, Antonio? How's it going, Ionic Blood? Benny? How is everybody doing tonight? Welcome. Originally I was going to live stream tomorrow, but then I just saw like these images were already up and I was like, you know what, let's just go with it. Let's enjoy, let's have some fun. I'll even stream again tomorrow if there's any more new images to go by. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these photos because Benny says the sale for Cold Slither is starting. Oh shit. Oh yeah, for the people that are probably there, right? Because I think they go for the links start tomorrow though. Yeah. Flaming Crow, how's it going? Thank you so much for joining. And like usual, because it's such an impromptu stream, I don't expect a lot of people to join because I'm sure everyone is going crazy right now trying to watch whoever it is they want to watch right now. But for those of you that are going to stick by, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. Couchboy says 7,193 backers for the Snowcat. Nice. So hopefully after tonight's stream or probably in the next day or two, we should get up to the 8,000 mark, depending if the Snowcat is enticing enough for people. But hopefully we'll see what happens. All right, so let's go ahead and start the images because there's probably a lot to go over. How's it going, Couchboy? All right. So for those that are going to watch later, thank you for joining. And for those that are here, awesome. Here we go. Shall we begin? Alright, so up first we have the GIJOE Classified NIGHTFORCE, BEACHHEAD, and QUICKKICK 2-pack. And these are obviously Walmart exclusives, which will be going up for pre-order tomorrow. Therefore, we will definitely, I'll definitely be having the pre-order links for you guys if you're not there. So this is going to be fun, but otherwise it's like I mentioned before, the digital renders don't necessarily do the figures justice, as when we last saw these two figures which were back at Toy Fair, they actually looked pretty good, but the renders weren't that great. But I will say, like, the actual design of these figures look better in person. And then of course for those that actually collect NIGHTFORCE, then hell yeah. I think this BEACHHEAD looks pretty decent. Yeah, I'm not necessarily a fan of, you know, like the pattern or etc. But at the end of the day, I still think it's a pretty cool figure, and NIGHTFORCE is definitely one of my favorites for sure. And you can see a little tease of Crystal Ball there in the background, as not many people have him yet. We can see Crystal Ball shield, but I'm sure we'll get to him. And before, I also want to make a disclaimer. I have not seen any of these photos. I just saw like the intro and I was like, you know what, let's just go live and go crazy with this one. So Odds Mods, welcome. Charles, how's it going? Charles says, I'm here with my wife watching all this crazy news. How's it going, Charles's wife? Or Mrs. Charles? Thank you so much for joining, both of you. Flaming Crow says that BEACHHEAD is great. Yeah, I mean, I actually think it looks fine. I like it. Head sculpt is cool, and I think, I could be wrong, I don't think it's it doesn't look like it's painted on, but it looks like the black stripes on his, or maybe it is painted, I don't know, just by the angle it looks like it could be a little bit like webbing or texture, like how they usually do like Spider-Man webbing from like Marvel Legends. But if not, that's cool. Otherwise, it's still fine for what it is. The little blocky camo designs or patterns is cool. And yeah, I know a lot of people aren't really too invested in it, but it's still fine. Alright, so we have an up-close look at BEACHHEAD's head sculpt. Antonio, yeah, hopefully we have some new figures to go over, hopefully, but we'll see what happens. Couchboy says, when does the new wave go on sale? I hear this weekend. Perhaps they could be announced on Saturday. I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, so I'm wrong. It's actually the texturing of the, what do you call it? Is the texturing of the sweater that's making the black lines pop out a lot more. So it's not necessarily the webbing of the black lines. It's more so just the detail of the sweater that's kind of making it pop out a little more. So now that I see more up close detail, that's much better. Let's see what else we got. So we got QUICKKICK here. Now my only issue with QUICKKICK is that his head sculpt is, you know, they give you 2 head sculpts for QUICKKICK, but at the same time they don't necessarily give you like enough variations, whereas, you know, this one has like the black paint on, like the war paint on the side of his cheeks, whereas the other head sculpt is just plain. However, both head sculpts roughly look the same to me. You know, I don't see like I don't see like much of a difference with any of those. But and he still has the Joe Pro on the right shoulder, so it looks like they're still sticking to that storyline for whatever reason. But that's cool. Anyways, so now we have the additional QUICKKICK head sculpt, like I mentioned before, and then he's got the little kabuki mask, which is really sick. And as I think Rachel Salinas has mentioned to us before, according to Lenny in the bio, QUICKKICK actually stole the mask from the Blue Ninjas, so I like that. Holy shit, Firefly says $5. Ooh, thank you. You get the shark heart. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. He goes, thanks for being on. The 2 bigger dudes and the old guy are on. That must be the most boring G.I. Joe show on YouTube. It's like watching paint dry. Well, I actually have no clue who you're talking about. Who are those guys? I don't know who the old guy is. But thank you so much for the $5, man. I really do appreciate that. You get the shark heart. That definitely means a lot to me. Thank you. And I think this is your first time in the chat too, and it's your first time also donating to the channel. So, very joyous occasion. So thank you so much, Firefly. Yeah, I really do appreciate that, man. Your donations will definitely go to a good place on the channel for sure. So thank you so much for that. Next round of drinks will be on me. All right, so let's move on, because I honestly don't know how many photos we have, but I don't want to stick too long with it, but we're going to zoom by these, hopefully. Oh. Oh, shit. Okay, so hold on. Flaming Crow says Friday at 10 is the Hasbro panel Pacific time, so that would be like 12 Eastern. So, okay, I should be awake for it too. What's up, Elvin Martinez? Thank you so much for joining. Couchboy says, is the panel live or do we watch the janky bootleg at 10? So the G.I. Joe or the Hasbro team did announce that, like the official Hasbro team themselves did announce that we're going to see a live stream of the panel. Now, I don't know if we're going to get like them at the actual panel, but we might see like different variations of the stream, whereas like how last year we saw like a regular like interview style where Lenny dropped some names like in render reveals, and then there was the actual panel that was going on. So I'm not too sure which versions, but you know, so they might have both versions out, because I remember last year I was watching the wrong version, because I was watching the actual panel where the G.I. Joe team was talking and going over the Haslab Rattler, versus there was actually a pre-recorded or something like that interview that happened like before or after that was more that everyone was watching more. So I was just like, I didn't even know that was even a thing. Elvin Martinez, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Joe Bits, how's it going? Shout out to Joe Bits. The E4 tactical vests are removable and neato. Last year the Pulse panel was live on YouTube, right? Yes, that was live on YouTube. Alright, so it looks like we have the Slice and Dice head sculpts. We got some accessories there. We got the alternate head for Dice, I believe. Very cool. I like these two. I did pre-order these. Thank you to who was it that donated to the channel? I think it was Solo Sinner who donated to the channel and told me to buy the Slice and Dice 2-pack, so I did pre-order those, so thank you so much for allowing me to get those figures. This figure looks really good. So like I said, I did pre-order these, so I'm really excited to be collecting ninjas right now. We have Dice here. He's got the little brown, I guess you can say whatever cloth piece, that thing, cape thingy. Grenades, straps. Now Lenny did mention in one of the GI Joe streams that the reds on the purple outfit is intentional. So if you own the original GI Joe O-ring Dice figure, you'll know that he's really just all purple and black with like the silvers and whatever. But the classified version, they added some red trims to the figure. Therefore, I personally am not too much of a fan of it. However, I guess it might grow on me the more I have it, but it would be nice. To, like, I don't know, maybe there might be another version later on down the line without the red trims, because I would actually prefer it. But I guess it's fine. But it's kind of like a sore. I don't know. That's probably the wrong word. Like an eyesore when you have like dark colors and then you have this color that pops out. But if you know like color theory, that when you utilize like a certain color that doesn't match with another, kind of sticks out in the wrong way. So you're like, but you know, it's fine. Jason says, hey Shark, how's it going, Jason? So Slice and Dice is freaking amazing. I agree. Mandalorian says, emailing you the photos of the new Mortal Kombat figures. Yes, please do, man. Please do. Thank you, Mandalorian fan channel. Alright, let's look at the next photo. Again, really cool. Weapons look nice. I like the whole like ninja aesthetic, and even that the cloth pieces, even though it's plastic, but like those cloth pieces that are dangling from the belt. It gives you a lot of texture and versatility for the figure, so at least the articulation won't be hindered because it's like all ripped up and stuff. So that's actually really cool. And the mask itself looks great. Kind of reminds me of like Mortal Kombat's Shao Kahn mask, because he has like the teeth there in the front. But the purple trims on the mask, the black, all looks really good. Even the side, whatever you call it, the shoulder pads, or not shoulder pads, yeah, whatever. I mean, yeah, it's all fine. Now we have Slice here. Very cool. All red figure with the black. So you know what would have been really cool though, if for this figure, because you know how they're like mixing and vice versa, if this figure had more of the purple trims on this one, kind of giving it like a both mix and match, that actually would have been really cool. But it kind of sucks that the other figure got the reds on the purple, but this figure doesn't have any of that, even though it's fine without the purple. But I'm just saying, like, if they wanted to, they could have easily done it, but I guess it's fine. Sixth Element, welcome to the chat, says, I did believe this is your first time here, says, I see they toned down the color of the NIGHTFORCE BEACHHEAD to a more odd green. Yes, they did. I believe it was more lighter, and I don't know if it was rendered, because the Toy Fair I think had a little bit brighter depending on the lighting, but this one seems definitely a lot more darker for sure. So one of my only nitpicks I have for the Slice figure is that it looks like it's very, you can see it in the image that it's very subtle, where the faceplate had like a mesh faceplate, if you remember from the original toy line, or like the O-ring. This one, they really like made it subtle that you can't necessarily see it unless you really look into it, or if your hands go like over it. But I do like the fact that they still include it, so it's not as like poppy as the original O-ring versions are, but it's still good for what it is. And then the rest of the blacks kind of gives you like that Ermac from Mortal Kombat feel for sure. All the weapons, I mean, I'm sure the weapons are still need to be painted and stuff, unless that's exactly the color, because hopefully these are just prototypes. But otherwise, yeah, this is another solid figure. I'm very happy for this one. I cannot wait to have this one displayed in my collection. Again, we have Dice, looking pretty dope. Alright, so we've seen this one already. Ooh, Crystal Ball. I don't know how many people have ordered their Crystal Ball figure and haven't gotten theirs yet, but I will say that the classified version is miles and leagues ahead of the original version, that's for sure. I do love this green mask. I think one day I'll probably pre-order this figure, or not even pre-order, like I'll probably get this figure at some point, just for like the mask and the sword and the shield. Otherwise, I do like the tentacles and all that stuff, and like the demon Capricorn horns and shit. So you can see like even the gills and whatever on the sides, which is really cool. Ermac is my dude. He and Noob say, but hell yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to look at the McFarlane Toys Mortal Kombat ones too. Billy, welcome to the chat, says they look cool, but the weapons aren't ninja, as in Japanese, they are kung fu weapons. Oh shit. Well, thank you for that information, Billy. Yeah, I think sometimes there's iconic weapons that people just associate it to the actual ninjas, and then you have like the more deep, concise weapons that they go to it. Therefore, I'm not sure whoever's on the GI Joe team, maybe they must have researched like weapons in general, but I don't know if they actually researched the specific weapons that go to the specific genres or whatever. So not genres, but you know what I mean, specific styles of martial arts. But yeah, otherwise this figure looks pretty cool. I like it. We've seen this for a while now, so I'm not really sure what to make of it. Otherwise, the shield is not really shining at the moment. It's probably just depending on the angle of it, but it's still fine. We love to see Mortal Kombat Devara versus Pythona. Yeah, that would be sick. Flaming Crow says Walmart pushed Crystal Ball till August. Damn. Sixth Element says, yeah, my Crystal Ball order says August. That sucks. Elvin says we have to pay scalper prices for Crystal Ball. I mean, Crystal Ball seems like one of those figures where, yes, it could be delayed or pushed back till August, but he seems like one of those figures where once the figure comes out of nowhere, we're probably going to see like an influx of Crystal Ball figures, and potentially we might see like a decrease in pricing. So that could be something like later on, because we've seen this numerous times in the classified line where when a figure gets really hot, they eventually will go down in price at some point. Well, not like the exclusives, but Crystal Ball doesn't seem like a popular enough figure to kind of, to kind of hit like a scalper market, I suppose. Robert says, oh shit, there's a live stream? Hell yeah. This is an impromptu live stream. I was not planning at this whatsoever. I just got on, I saw photos, and I was like, oh shit, we're gonna go live. And Sixth Element is still waiting on Dial Tone. Nobody knows where Dial Tone is, but alright, so more Crystal Ball images, pretty dope. Alright, up next, how many people have gotten their breakers? Right now, in terms of Target, breakers have been going up for, well, not going up for pre-order, they've been, oddly enough, they've been available on the Target's website, and people have bought them, and then within the day they were shipping out to them. And then on top of that, a lot of collectors were able to find breakers at their local Targets, at least up to 6 to 8 breakers on the pegs. I've seen numerous photos of people going and getting their breakers, and people are like stockpiling them because they know how much people are going crazy for them. Couchboy says, I got breaker now. Well, again, version 2. Nice. D Sanchez, what's going on, brother? How's it going? Jason says, I got Dial Soap and no Dial Tone. Jokes. Sendel Krishnan, how's it going, man? It's good to see you. Shout out to Sendel, awesome supporter of the channel. And then we have Chad Kinsler. How's it going, brother? Good to see you again. Couchboy says, just came, I got my breaker. Nice. Iron Blood says he missed Psylocke. Psylocke was the figure that came with Thanos, right? That was the Marvel Legends 2-pack. So this breaker figure also has the Joe Pro, so he's going in unison with the NIGHTFORCE QUICKKICK figure. So it looks like there's sorry, looks like they're still going with the Joe Pros, although they kind of disregarded that storyline for the Joe line. However, the figure does look pretty good for those who want like a classic-ish breaker. Although there's still the cartoon version that we need to look for, I think. Cobra for Life, what's going on? Thank you so much for joining tonight's stream. How's it going? But overall, it's a nice looking figure. It does come with the bubblegum, so hopefully... Holy shit, look at this! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we've got our first looks at the brand new Sergeant Slaughter and Mercer 2-pack. Alright. For those that are here, what do you guys think of this? Sendel says, happy to see another stream, getting ready for tomorrow. Oh, Sendel, are you actually going to Comic-Con? Raging Sherbert, how's it going? Thank you so much for joining. This is a pretty cool set, although Mercer does look a little bit better than I anticipated for, because the render wasn't that good, in my opinion. But yeah, at least the figure for Mercer does look better. The Cobra Viper. The glasses look nice. Weapons, I can, that's whatever. I don't really nitpick on weapons. My only complaint for Sergeant Slaughter is that I believe he's using those Airborne and 60th what is it, paratrooper, the Halo jumper legs. So I'm not necessarily a fan of those pants that go over the boots. If he had the original boots, like the thicker boots where the pants go underneath it, that probably would have been sick. But it's kind of like blah, and the camo is okay, whatever. But the crazy part is that you have to double dip on Sergeant Slaughter, or triple dip if you already have the Mad Marauders version, in order to get this Mercer. And that kind of bothers me, is just the fact that Mercer is a really cool G.I. Joe character, even though for an Viper, still it just sucks, because if they do Taurus and Reddog separately, or like even as a 2-pack, that probably would have made it a lot better. But seeing how we have to get another Sergeant Slaughter, unless you're actually someone that does want the Sergeant Slaughter, then I like the Sergeant Slaughter looks decent torso up. It's just I don't really am a big fan of the pants. William Hussett, how's it going? Thank you so much for joining. He says, I thought Mercer was big. So apparently people were showing images of Mercer from the animated movie, and they were saying based on the angles, oh my god. They were saying based on the angles of Mercer from the movie that he was actually height accurate to Falcon, although I don't necessarily believe that. I always thought Mercer was also pretty tall, but it seems like it can go both ways. I'm not really sure, because I'm basically in the same world as you are, where I thought Mercer was like taller, but I guess he's going to be more of a standard size figure, so I guess that's fine. But I don't know. I also thought that he was taller. Ooh, Firefly with another $2. He says, Sleazy of Hasbro combining Mercer with Slaughter. Thank you so much, Firefly. I appreciate that. Awesome. Giving you a shark heart. Yeah, so I totally agree with you. Mercer should not have been in a 2-pack with Sergeant Slaughter, because as good as Sergeant Slaughter looks, it's just one of those figures where I don't think he would have done good if he was by himself. Like, he probably wouldn't have sold out as much by himself, but throwing him in a 2-pack with Mercer kind of gave it like, yeah, you're getting another figure, but at the same time, we get to sell this mold that we've already had prior, so I don't know. Also, if you guys are here in the stream tonight, please be sure to give a like, as we are over about 100 people here on the stream, so holy shit, first time. Thank you guys so much for joining. Please hit that like button. I do not have any stream goal for tonight, because this is extremely impromptu, so whatever numbers we get to by the end will be great. Yes, exactly what Out of Shelf Space just said. Thank you so much. Antonio says this Slaughter is complete ass. Iron Blood says Mandela Effect. Jose says, I hope they redo Mercer on his own. I don't like that head sculpt or the skinny arms. There's a chance they redo him solo with much better. So I think the only way they can redo Mercer is really just updating the color pants to more vibrant blue. Because if I remember the original O-ring version, I think it was more like a lighterish blue, and this is like a dark blue. So I don't know if that's a big enough deal to make another version of Mercer. There's still something about, even though his hair is accurate, there's just something about the action figure form that I feel is a bit weird, but it's fine. But let me see if there's any other photos. Oh, okay, we do. Yeah, the grinning teeth, the goggles, all that. Like, the more I look at it, the more better it's looking. So it's not really much of an issue. It's just, I think whatever I had in my head for a Mercer, it kind of goes against it, but not in a bad way. It just has like a different approach. So I do like it. It's just, it's not really what I envisioned. However, once I see, like, let's say they reveal Taurus or Reddog, and if I see all three of them together, then it'll definitely entice me to get this Mercer. Then maybe at that point, Mercer might be a rarer figure to get. I'm not really sure. Or maybe he might be a more expensive figure to get, because we know people might be selling the Sergeant Slaughter and keeping the Mercers if they know that Taurus and Reddog are coming at some point. So if that's the case, then that would be interesting. Otherwise, damn. All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, Sergeant Slaughter, of course, we know comes with a brand new head sculpt, a new beret, roughly. Got the whistle in the mouth. Pretty cool. Weapons, fine. Beige, khaki, bandolier, all that. Pretty dope. So no issues there. I think it's fine. Camo pants, whatever. Josh Morales says Mercer seems off, probably because of how oversized Slaughter is. That could be too. That's actually a very valid point. Yeti Ben, how's it going? Welcome to the chat. I believe this is your first time here, but I know you're a long-time supporter of all channels, so thank you so much for joining, Yeti Ben. It says, waiting for Skybound Mercer. I have seen an image of Mercer from the Skybound comics, and that dude looked pretty muscular and beefy, so there's a really good chance we could see that version come somewhere. Because if they have a Nemesis, Immortal, Enforcer from the Skybound version, then who knows, they can easily do, like, the sky's the limit at this point for more of those figures. Yeah, we have alternate head sculpt for Mercer, that's fine. Sergeant Slaughter with the other hat, fine. All right, so here we have the scuba mustard and ketchup scuba divers, the mass device figures. So this one, even though people would probably prefer to have, you know, multiple versions of scuba divers to kind of like Army Bill with Wetsuit, who's now a newly announced figure with, and Torpedo. I don't know. It's just, it's a nice 2-pack, but it's just one of those things where I don't know if I really need it. So I think I'll be okay if I don't have it. But I think for people who do customs or people who want to army build and all that stuff, I think this would be great for you guys, just for like background troops. And you have the diver from the 60th anniversary one. Yeah, and this is also pays homage to the actual animated series. If you haven't seen it, there is an episode of them when they're underwater and the Joes are wearing yellow and the Cobras are wearing red. So it's really cool to see these like cartoon style figures come to life. So happy about that. All right, let's just move on, because not too much to say here other than we've seen this mold used many times before. So now it looks like we got into the retro bats. I do like that what do you call it, that gradient by the left arm, the laser beam that's sticking out. It does have like a nice blue tones with like the purples, dark blues. Very cool. I like that. And I love how the compared to the original first bats that came out, that the retro ones are actually more silver than that dull muted gray. So this is a very nice bat to own, to army build as well. And another thing is, like, if you're someone that wants to what do you call it, mix and match parts, because I know the original first bat had the I I guess orange-ish, yellow orange-ish colors, whereas these are more yellow. So it would be nice to kind of like mix and match like the boots and like the belts and stuff if you're into something like that. So Jose says he suffers from the Falcon syndrome. Couchboy says I can't wait. Robert says I'm okay with passing on the divers. 49er, how's it going? Welcome to the chat, says Yo Shark. What up, what up, what up? William says divers really need to be able to look upward to swim forward. And also the divers remind me of Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid. I don't care, welcome to the chat, says I would like to get the Diver 2-pack but find it's going to be a hassle. Yeah, I think the Diver 2-pack is also a Target exclusive. I think it's a Target exclusive. I could be wrong, but I think it's Target. So yeah, it's probably going to be a shit show with that one, but hopefully not. Alright, so we got more bat figures, different alternate head sculpts and all that stuff, so that's fine. Holy shit, do you guys see what's down there? Oh boy. Alright, so it looks like that figure is coming out. Nice, nice, nice. Alright, so it looks like we have the green shirt army builders. I don't know if I should really dive into these. There's really not much to say other than classic green shirt background Joe Troopers for your collection. Not, you know, if this is something you guys want, then that's great. This looks dope. More clear, yes, as 49er says. Make sure you do hit that like button if you are watching. I would say, I mean, so if you watch the cartoon, you know that these green shirt guys are always in the background. They don't necessarily aid the G.I. Joes like too much, but they're also like more strictly in the background, like fighting off like Cobra Troopers. So the real Joes are roughly doing all the main essential missions that need to be done, whereas these guys you can see fighting with their lasers in the background shooting the Cobras, kind of like a decoy or just like assisting in backup. So I don't know, I think at least 10 of these would be great to have, just because it would be great to have. Unfortunately the Haslab is not like a, you know, Mobat or Mauler, but you know, at least they'll come great with the Awe Striker or whatever vehicles that we have so far, or even maybe the Dragonfly. But yeah, alternate head sculpt, alternate hands, weapons. All right, packaging, all that pretty cool. Ooh, okay, we got CoverGirl. I believe this figure has already started to reach the US, so I think she's going to be on the way shipping soon. I personally like the first CoverGirl, although there could be an unpopular opinion. I do like that first CoverGirl with the red hair, although this one is, I don't want to say better, but it's in that same boat of like, it's pretty good, you know. It's got the nice, better facial expression. It's got the nice blonde hair, which is more classic to what she's known for, kind of. The outfit, etc., etc. Yeah, so it's a good figure. Just, you know, I still prefer the first original one. I don't care says Hasbro from now on should pair all vehicles with green shirts. You know, that would be a really, really great idea. A bonus figure with vehicles. I would like that. Alan Balcom, welcome to the chat, says, man, I didn't even know you were going live tonight. What's up, Shark? How's it going, Alan? Yeah, I was not planning to go live at all tonight. I was going to go tomorrow, but things just happened, so here we are. Let's see what else. So yeah, really nice hat. Pitt's Garage, pretty cool. Yeah, so more CoverGirl. This is a very decent, nice head sculpt with the hair. The articulation might be a little bit tougher to pose in terms of moving her head up and down, because when you have that stiff hair piece in the back, it might hinder the articulation. So I don't know if Hasbro will ever improve on that, but otherwise it's still a nice figure, or a nice looking head sculpt. We got Televiper, the retro one. I don't really have anything to say about this other than it's fine. But then we got Flint. I'll leave this here for a second. I want to catch up with the chat. Elvin says green troopers are so plain. I think, yeah, but I think that's the point. I think they're supposed to be plain anyway. just makes it better. Because if they have, I mean, they could update them, but you don't want to like overshine the actual Joe Troopers anyway. I don't care says Hasbro from. Oh, I just read that. Someone say Jason Derulo. Robert says, is that Jason Derulo? Flaming Crow says, add something new. Yeah, so they're going to be adding some new figures probably every single day. So that's why it's best to just keep notifications on, because if I go live, it's just going to be at the most randomest time all week. I'm not going to have a regular schedule for Comic-Con, so just make sure you guys are keeping up to date with the channel, just so you don't like miss out on anything. Pretty Boy Flint here looks a lot younger than the original classified first version, but otherwise this is as classic as this Flint can get. So no complaints, no issues there. Pretty good figure, I like it. I believe he's also shipping 2 with CoverGirl, so he should be out at some point. We have the text written on the Televiper's helmet that says "What the," and then yeah, that's all fine. One said, oh, so there's 3 additional heads. Oh, so as you noticed on the Televiper that he has the white skin tone, therefore you cannot mix and match obviously the different head sculpts that came with the Televipers in the Trouble Bubble. Therefore all the additional head sculpts will be all white, which basically means that we might see this figure come back again with different skin tones, which I think would be a lot cooler to army build. Variant skin toned of figures, which gives it more diversity in the classified line. But this one just says alert on it, and it doesn't even look like it's in red. It looks like it's more in pink rather than red. It could be just the lighting that we see on there, but I believe it's more in pink. But it just sucks that the text should have been at least a little bit thicker. But it's fine, because we know in the cartoon when the Televipers look up at the screen, it kind of like goes across their helmet. So I mean, you can't really do that in a toy form, but it's a good try. It's a good try. Oh, look at this one! Holy shit! Oh, do you guys see all those figures in the background? Oh boy, looks like we're gonna be looking at the brand new wave coming out. This looks dope. Alright, this looks cool. This looks cool. So for those that actually own the original Snake Eyes version 4 figure, you would know that he comes with these bright ass orange weapons, which are completely hideous. So I do remember in the GI Joe live stream, Lenny did say that they wanted to make the figure look, or not the figure, like the accessories, make it look a little more modern-esque or more appealing to look at, rather than having those bright ass orange weapons. So they gave it more like a darkerish red or maroonish colors, like blood red, which looks really nice. But the goggles looked great, and the whole torso, everything about it. I think it's a pretty solid figure nonetheless. My only nitpicks I would have to say about this figure is the fact that if you look at the shin guards on the boots, traditionally they're supposed to be like light blue, like the same color as his torso, but they colored it black, and the blue tones are actually like in the background, or no, sorry, not the background, they're in the back of the boot. So I think that's what kind of makes it a little, I don't want to say too dark, but if they only had made so I like it black, but it wouldn't have been bad if they also done it blue as well. So I think either option would have worked, but I think it's just missing that iconic blue by the shin guards, which would have made it like a lot better in my opinion. Spirit of Bagheera, welcome to the chat. First time here, I believe. Says, I missed the Han Solo-like smirk from the original Flint figure from the 85. I mean, he was a bit loose cannon in the comics. Yeah, each Flint figure in the modern age makes him look so serious. Serious, and they're making him prettier. Robot Wars, welcome to the chat. Says the goggles, they do nothing. Yeah, and also the moment I saw this head sculpt, it's very similar to Desert Scorpion's head sculpt as well. So we know that I pretty much guessed that we would probably see a Desert Scorpion at some point. So I'm very glad to see that they did reveal or announce a Desert Scorpion. So that's good. Speaking of goggles, who doesn't like it? Oh, Alan says he doesn't like it. I Don't Care says, I would like to see a Transformers crossover with the classified line with Spike and Sparkplug Witwicky. I'm sure we might get that at some point, not sure. I mean, they do have the new, what is it, crossover? The Transformers and, I don't know what you call it. Transformers and G.I. Joe crossover, the one that's rumored to come out. Joe Bit says, my brother doesn't collect any figures, but this blue Snake Eyes would make him cry. We'll get him a copy. Would be the first classified Joe that I gift him. Awesome, man. Something that holds like a sentimental attachment to some certain figures. Now, okay, so even just based, so I really hope that this isn't like the official figure, but it probably is anyway. So here's another nitpick that I have. It would have been better if the pouches and the buckles and clips, I know it's probably going to cost them a lot more to paint the figure, but it looks very unappealing when everything is just all like dull gray. So like the detail is fine. I think it's just they lack the coloring. Like even the pins should have been at least like black or something. Just looking at the gray, it still feels like you're looking at a prototype rather than a completed figure. So it's a little bit lackluster. It should have been more like not dull gray, but I don't know. I guess it needs some more. It needs a lot more coloring. Zoran, welcome to the chat. Says, what did I miss? Oh, you missed a good bunch. Ooh, we have Major Blood, the reissue from Cobra Island. All right, so here's my thoughts on this Major Blood. So for this Major Blood figure, the thing that makes it interesting is, one, Cobra Island has traumatized a lot of collectors. Two, if you look at the box art of of Major Blood from the first classified series, you will know that the box art had those red pieces already colored into his chest armor piece, which I've seen people do customizations of the red inside. So Major Blood for me will be in the top 3 best classified figures to date, the original Cobra Island one. Now, if you have that, I honestly don't think you necessarily need this version because they did update the browns to make it a lot lighter. It's not as darker browns compared to the original version. However, if the reds are enough to entice you to buy it, then by all means do it. But my only issue would have to be is that the robotic arm that he has, they also added some red paint apps to it, which I think doesn't necessarily look good. If only they had the same arm as, or same colored arm as the original and left those reds there, I think it would have been a nice substitute for those that never got the original version. But still, I mean, for those that never got the Cobra Island version, this would be a nice one to have, even if you don't have it. But yeah, so otherwise it's really the same exact sculpt and molding. There's really nothing new here other than the coloring is just a little more vibrant. And if you see here on his left hand or left arm, he has like a green patch. So it does contrast well against the browns, but color wise, I'm just not sure if I'm digging it with the green patch on brown, but I guess it's fine. Otherwise, face sculpt is probably all, I think it's pretty much the same. Title Manishir, welcome to the chat. I know this is a very impromptu. I didn't tell anyone I was streaming today. I just randomly went on because of what was going on. But also, we are at 60 likes. If we can try to get this tonight's stream to 100 likes, that's it. Tonight's goal. Let's try to hit to 100 likes before the stream is over. If we can do that. Otherwise, it's okay. But because we're celebrating Comic-Con tonight, let's see if we can get to 100 likes tonight. So I'm being a little ballsy on Shark Week. Ooh, look at this. Alright, G.I. Joe Classified Monkey Wrench, part of the Dreadnoks. Then we have the Legacy Series Firefighter. Ooh, I wonder if they're going to put the police officer on display. I wonder. But maybe there's a better photo of Monkey Wrench. Ah, there is. Okay. So for those, Marnus28, welcome to the chat. How's it going? Says, what's new, Shark? How's it going? So much, man. We're in San Diego Comic-Con hype right now. The hype is real. So here's the thing. I think this Monkey Wrench figure is a 9.5 out of 10. Now there's one thing on this figure that I understand why they did it, but there's one thing on this figure that kind of bothers me just a little bit. So let me see if you guys in the chat know what it is about this figure that needs to be changed if you own the original O-ring version. Otherwise, I completely get why they went with this particular choice, but let me see if you guys know what it is that I'm talking about. Otherwise, I still think it's like a 9.5 out of 10. It's really good. Robert says those glasses look like they're molded on. Yes, and also it looks like he has like a brand new, like, they're kind of like foggier glasses. I don't know how to explain it. Like the plastic they use is not like super translucent. They seem like a little more foggier. Can't really tell from his head face sculpt, but nice knife tattoo. Everything else about it looks good. Jason says the color palette. No, the color palette's fine. I don't have any issues with that. It's a very minor detail. Pearlescent, yes, that's a great word for it. Pearlescent, yes. Zoran says you would have preferred him having a red robotic arm. No. Couchy Boy says all Dreadnoks are a good thing. Yes, yes. Let me see. William Hussett said, I ordered him. Nice, nice. Robert says, patches. No. Hell no. God, no. Alright, I'll just tell you guys anyway. If you own the original version of this figure, the grenades were actually silver and not green. And again, I know why they used green for it, because green is a little more of a universal color for grenades. But if they wanted to, you know, pay a little more homage to the original O-ring one, then they could have had like silver grenades. But again, it's not a deal breaker for me. I still think it's a 9.5 out of 10. This is just like a minor little difference of opinion that I probably would have preferred, but otherwise it's still a good looking figure. The ripped jeans, the chains, all in silver color. It's not the muted. Oh, look at Cobra Commander's helmet. Oh shit, we're getting to him now. Very nice. But the jeans look great, boots look good. The little straps, the bandana straps on his legs, fine. Holsters, good. Again, one of the better Dreadnoks in my opinion. I think this is good. Alright, we have the Legacy Series Firefighter, and I believe this guy is showing up at Target as well. I've seen quite a few people find their Firefighter at Target. Not everyone was lucky, but at least they were able to get it, so that's pretty cool. Don't really have too much to say about it other than maybe they'll have the... Oh my god, look on the bottom! They have the Awe Striker on display! Ooh, that's gonna be fun. Holy shit. Okay, hold on. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Oh shit. Budo. We have Budo on display. Very, very nice. This is one of those figures where I probably will get at some point. I didn't do an instant pre-order for this guy because I was more invested in Slice and Dice, but damn, this figure does look pretty good. Let me see if there's a better up close photo of it, but we do have the previous waves of Dark Lawn, Frag Viper. Looks like we have Blowtorch back there in heavy duty, but damn, This is nice. This is really, really nice. Look at that. He kind of has like a little mustache, facial hair, kind of like a burn to it, which is very, very cool. The neck piece looks really dope. Yeah, so that was one of my issues when I saw the digital render. You know, he had more like, it looked really dull grays, but I guess this is just the lighting. The original O-ring version had like a lighter gray, but still it's a nice modern update compared to the original one, so I have no issues with it. And plus they gave him that ponytail, which is dope. And then Robert says, you talked me into pre-ordering Budo. Damn, dude, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Ionic Blood says they all say 2025. Oh shit, do they? He does have the word G.I. Joe written on the side of his shoulder armor piece, which is cool. I think the greens are pretty accurate. I don't think there's any changes in that. But the face sculpt, though, very, very nice. Shin guards, knee pads, pants, all that looking dope. Yeah, so I think... So, I will get this figure at some point. I just don't know when. I think if I ever come across to it, I'll definitely get it. But I think it wasn't a huge priority, but I will definitely be getting this figure someday in the future. Zoran says, tell us how you really feel. I like it. That's how I really feel. Flaming Crow says, I think Budo has potential for being top 5 figures. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, look, he comes equipped with so much crap. Look at all that straps, the buckles, the padding, the gauntlets, all that stuff, and then plus the weapons, the swords, the little daggers, the extra minor accessories. Plus, I love that additional head sculpt with the long hair and then the facial hair. That looks really cool. And plus, he has the signature helmet too, the samurai helmet. That looks really good. There we go. See, samurai helmet, very nice. Couchboy says it would be cool if a Dreadnought or Rock and Roll version 3 had an Ozzy tattoo, but I'm thinking of him, of course. Oh man, rest in peace. Zoran says, I got my dial tone last week on Amazon Canada, came and went real fast. Ooh. Well, congrats, because people in the US are still waiting for him for past a year now. Couchboy says all ninjas are good. Hell yeah, dude. So that's what I said. I kind of toned down on getting other G.I. Joe figures, and I really focused more on like the ninjas. Because I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, so it's one of my things that I'm gonna do a classified video on ninjas at some point, so stay tuned for that. But this armor piece, that dude looks sick. So you wouldn't. So think about it this way. At least maybe 3. No, you need at least 4 versions of this figure, right? One with all this armor piece that you see here. One with the original head sculpt with the ponytail. One with the long hair. And then one with the traditional helmet. So that's like 4 versions of Budo. But that's enough to army build like a freaking samurai village, which is sick. Budo needs a stand for that armor. That would be sick if they actually did do that, though. Let me see here. More update, more up close shot of the helmet and armor. Very nice. Darklon. I don't think we need to talk too much about this, just because we've seen people get their figures of these already. So. Martin says, welcome Martin to the chat. Says, Shark, have you received your Cobra claws yet? No, I have not, because I did not pre-order it. I try to be very selective in my G.I. Joe classified figure pre-orderings moving forward in 2025, so I did not pre-order a lot of them. But yes, they are starting to ship, as Billy says. Footloose, really cool. Apparently, Footloose has gotten a lot of great feedback. Very iconic figure. Everyone had a lot of positive things to say about this figure. So if you don't have it, I guess you can get it, just because everyone... There's not one person that I know at the moment who has messaged me and not said that it's a bad figure. Everyone seems to like it. So he looks like he could be a top contender of like top 15 best classified figures at the moment. So... All right, some more Footloose. Blowtorch, don't really have much to say about it other than it's fine. I don't know how many people have theirs. And Frag Viper. Let's see what else. Heavy Duty is a figure in question. I think a lot of people in the US don't necessarily have a Heavy Duty figure at the moment. They're still waiting for theirs. It's been like over a year and a half now for Heavy Duty, still nowhere to be found. I guess, again, for those that actually have a Heavy Duty, either have connections overseas or know somebody, or they just paid extra on like AliExpress to get a Heavy Duty figure. Therefore, people in the US though traditionally are still waiting for this damn figure. Him and Trench Viper, if they have the nerve to even post this on display. Oh, Cobra Commander. All right, let's see if there's a better up close shot of this guy. Ah, there we go, clear one. There we go. Couch Boy says every time Shark says Couch Boy, I get a commercial and miss it. I've had 3 commercials tonight for some reason. I'm sorry, man. Ionic Blood says they took my money and said pray for a tracking number like my Rattler. Shit. Flaming Crow says I should get my claw on Saturday. Damn, nice. Congratulations. Yeah, the claw looks really, really awesome. That's probably in my top 3 favorite female classified figures. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to Santa Samson. I don't know if he's in the chat tonight or if he's going to be watching later. He surprised me with a pre-order of this armored Cobra Commander, so thank you so much, Santa Samson. So I will be revealing this figure at some point whenever it comes out, probably by next year. So there's one, I don't want to say it's an issue, but there's one minor detail on this figure that is a bit different than I expected it to be, in the sense that if you Google the original Cobra Commander with the the armored Cobra Commander, you will see that he kind of has like this arch sharp design on his chest piece. This one seems more like they dulled down the edges to make it a little bit more different. So and plus they changed his boots a little bit more to fit the aesthetic of I don't know how to explain it, but just Google the original armored Cobra Commander and you'll see like they did I don't want to say update, it's kind of, it feels like a little bit of a downgrade in design. However, it is a figure that a lot of people have been wanting or waiting for this figure to come. Now, there's another side catch here for this armored Cobra Commander, and that's the fact that the original version was also teal blue. It was like this aquaish teal blue. This version is actually the same color scheme that they gave him in the 2001 or 2002 2-pack version that came with I forgot which other figure that came with. It was like a 2-pack. So they paid homage to that version from the 2001 or 2 version, whereas the original armored Cobra Commander was more of a tealish blue, like a lighter blue tone colors. And even in the cartoon, it was like a lighterish blue tone color as well. Therefore, there's a really good positive chance that we could get another version of this in more accurate colors. So it seems very likely that will happen, because I actually surprisingly have both of these Cobra Commander versions in O-ring, the dark blue and the teal version blue. So chances are we could see another one come at some point. So we'll see. Otherwise, head sculpt looks pretty cool. There is another alternate head sculpt with the Once a Man Cobra Commander eyes. I'm not sure if they'll have that on display here. Okay, they don't. But ladies and germs, we have the Awe Striker, and then we have Hawk with the MMS. Holy crap, look at this. Dios mío. This is pretty cool. How many of you guys actually like the Awe Striker? Because it looks like they made the tires a lot bigger compared to the original RC version from Toy Story. But this looks pretty good. I'm very impressed. A little more impressed than I would have been. RC Striker Christopher Moody, welcome to the chat, says the blue matches the card art of the original figure. I think sometimes it's hard to get the colors to match the figures. That's true. I agree with that. Robert says, can't wait for my Striker. Nice. Jose says, I love vehicles. Couchboy says, I think it's dope. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Jason sends, once a man, Cobra Transmander. By the way, we are at 81 likes for tonight's stream. If we can head to 100 likes for tonight's stream before it's over, that would be freaking sick. We're at 81 right now. Let's see if we can make it happen. Originally, I had no goal for tonight for streaming likes, but tonight, because it's Comic-Con weekend, let's hit 100 likes for tonight. If we can do that, holy shit, that'd be great. But look at the box art. I love how Crankcase's classified box art is very reminiscent to the old classic version. So it does give you that nostalgic feel to it, which is really awesome. All right, we got another photo there, very similar to that. Yeah, man, the more I look at it, the more I like this Striker. And I like the MMS. And I also do like the fact that the color greens are more in unison. See, okay, so I think this is exactly what people were talking about in terms of classified the Haslab, which we still haven't even talked about the Haslab yet. Holy shit. So the thing that people were expecting is like for a Haslab, let's say if it was a Mauler or Mobat, right? And I know one's green and one's orange or whatever, but because the Dragonfly was already in the same green color, and then we got the Striker, and then we got the Vamp, so in the MMS, they're all in like the same unison color greens, which is very, very awesome. Now the Snowcat kind of puts a slight damper on the color scheme of GIJOE vehicles. Now again, I know Snowcat is an iconic vehicle, but at the same time, it's one of those things where if it was like another tank that was green, it would have really went parallel to the Striker and MMS and Dragonfly. And I think that's what a lot of collectors really wanted as a next Haslab, a vehicle that kind of goes in unison with all these color themed vehicles, because now you have a bright giant ass white vehicle that's more snowy in terrain versus all these other vehicles that are like in green. So now it kind of makes a lot more sense when I see the Striker out of package, because you couldn't really tell with the Vamp because it was just the only solo figure at or vehicle at the moment. Oh, and then you have Breaker's Ram Cycle. Holy shit, I even forgot about that. So yeah, so you have all these color greens that were in consecutive back to back, and then they give you this giant ass white vehicle, you know? So I think that makes it kind of an odd choice, and that's what's making collectors back out. Well, not back out. It's making them. It's preventing them a little to back the Haslab Snowcat, because the colors. This is the first vehicle where the colors are kind of like out of touch with these. And again, the Snowcat is a very iconic vehicle, but I think it's either too soon or it should not have been a Haslab. So I think that's where like the big conversation goes, or argument goes with that. But yeah, Crankcase looks really dope, and more, I guess, accessories and stuff like that. Very, very nice. We have more Crankcase there. We got his toolkit. Very cool. We got the tires. I think his tank purposely wanted to show off the tires because they knew a lot of people were upset about the tire sizes. But based off the photo, it does look like it's more in unison with the other one, so I think that's good. Super Grimlock, welcome to the chat, says, I think the tire size is closer to the MMS and Vamp tire, so it looks better. Yes, I agree. Yes, because I think the digital render of the Striker looked like it was smaller. Jose says there was a green option, I would back it. Yeah, and this excludes obviously the NIGHTFORCE and the Tiger Force color schemes, because you know those are sublines, sub teams colors, but we're talking about like main vehicles for the Joe team. Jason says they need to put Hawk up front. Oh, I wonder if they have a Hawk photo. Marnu says, did they make the tires the same size now like the original, or is the rear still bigger? Alan says raise those standards. One second. Okay. Benedict says, when is the Joe fan stream for this weekend? 10 what was it? 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Pacific time, so like 12 p.m. Eastern. So I'll probably be going live stream then too. I don't care says, with all the talk of green and white making me think of a salad and blue cheese. Oh shit, I'm sorry. Billy says, Cobra currently has more vehicles and a greater variety of them compared to the GI Joe, which has only 3 Ram Cycle variants, 1 sold out Tiger Paw, Vamp, and Haslab Dragonfly. True. Spirit says, hope Colonel Hawk shows up in the retro line or a single figure, I'd grab him. 46 Zone, welcome to the chat, says, who is that in the gunner seat? That would be Crankcase. Sorry, here we go. Here's a better photo. Oh, so, okay, I didn't even realize this. They actually put Hawk there in the back seat. Alright, let me see if there's a better photo of Hawk. Ah, there we go. Alright, so we have the classic, you know, Hawk. There we go. Looks that Hawk looks really good. I actually like it. I like it. This is a very nice Hawk. See, here's the thing. Like, I know people were shitting on the digital renders, and and I was kind of too at some point. But until we see like the figures actually be displayed and we see them sitting in the seat and stuff like that, that's what makes the vehicle look a lot better, and it does look sick. So it now puts things into perspective, because I know a lot of people weren't too happy about that little grill cage being above, but now we see the Hawk figure sitting there, and yeah, that is wow. Holy shit. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have tonight we have reached a huge milestone on the channel. 104 likes before the stream even ended, with about less than 180 people watching. Holy shit. Bravo. Thank you to everyone who is here on the stream, and I'm pretty sure people will start dipping as soon as I say it. But thank you guys. Thank you so much from the bottom of my shark heart. I appreciate you guys for supporting this channel. Thank you so much. My love and appreciation and gratitude goes to everybody in the chat and all of you that are watching at home, even if you're not in the chat right now. Thank you. And for those for Firefly who donated twice on the channel, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. So we've made history. So thank you guys. Thank you. I was not expecting it, even for an impromptu live stream. Thank you so much. All right, we got a blurry photo. Hawk again looks good. It looks like it says Abernathy on the tag there, so that's good. Big ass tires, that's nice. All right, so let's keep moving on. Accessories, weapons, more weapons. Holy shit, is that a very disappointing display? What the hell is that? Oh my god. Alright, I'm sorry. Is this the best that they can do with snow? What is that? Oh dear lord. Like, is that sand? That doesn't even look like snow. Dude, I've been hyping it up for like the longest time, saying that the display at Comic-Con is going to be like this massive, snowy, really cool snow effects, some this and that. I feel like I'm looking at a 4-year-old making a sandcastle at the beach. Oh my god. Oh man. Dude, even the Rattler had a better display, and that was just a runway that they gave for it. Rocky Teller says, what is this dandruff? Yeah, hold on, maybe we have better photos. Okay, I mean, honestly, man, look, I'm gonna say this straight up. This is why I don't shill for Hasbro and I don't shill for G.I. Joe Classified. I am a huge G.I. Joe fan and I love G.I. Joe, but I know shit when it looks like it. This is why I don't interview the G.I. Joe team, because I know I would give them hell for it, but holy crap, this is sad. Look, I love the G.I. Joe team and I love their figures, etc., but on a A through F scale, this is like a D minus at best. I am so sorry. All right, let's take a look at the Snowcat. Let's hopefully we get some positive vibes here. Okay, I can't stop looking at the snow in the background. So they did add some skulls in there though. They did add skulls. You can see skulls in the little what do you call it? I think one of my nephews, right? He had this thing called, it's called like magic sand, where like you don't need water for it. So I think that's exactly what they used. But anyways, you can see skulls in the background, which is pretty cool. There's something blue glowing in the quote unquote snow. They sprinkled a little dandruff there on the windshield. That's fine. I don't know, somebody mentioned before that they would have preferred to have the, what do you call it, the rims colored. So I don't know if you guys would have preferred to have rims colored, because now I'm getting a little bit worried that they didn't color the rims and it's just going to be like that gray color, and those gray color rims don't look good. So I could be wrong. Maybe that's exactly what we're getting at this point, but otherwise Frostbite looks fine. I'm sure we'll get more detailed photos of him. Let me catch up with the chat real quick. It's White Sand says A Romo. Dingy Off-White Snow says Christopher Moody. Billy says looks rushed. Yes. Shark, they are on Hoth. What? Take it easy. Rocky Teller says, what is it? Oh, I just read that. Make displays great again, says Jason Natrides. That's funny. Couchboy says there's like 3 snow figures and all. I can't fluff 3 people. Alan's going back to the, oh, I'm sorry, I went back to the thing, but says I don't like the cage on top. Wish there was a way to make it look like the OG. Yeah, but the cage is removable though, so you can remove that cage piece from the All-Striker. I want my bacon and egg, says Billy. Benedict says, is Hasbro not allowed to produce a realistic military tank? I'm sure they can. I'm not sure why they wouldn't. I mean, okay, look, the Snowcat looks fine. I have no issues with it. It's okay. It's okay. So look, this goes back to my original point of me bitching and moaning and complaining for the past like 7 live streams that I've done. I know that this thing is going to fund, but think of it this way. This is exactly how the Snowcats are going to be displayed in our homes. We're not going to have this freaking white fluffy cloth piece that you see on the bottom that it's on. We're not going to use this magic sand that you see in the background. So you kind of have to put 2 and 2 together to be like, if I fund it and this is what it looks like, this is what it's going to look like on my display. It's a great looking vehicle. I actually like it. It's fine, but it's just, this probably should not have either been a Haslab, and it should have been like a smaller scaled Pulse exclusive type vehicle, or they should have waited for this vehicle to come out later on in the line, and they should have focused on more the heavy nitty gritty tanks to kind of revamp the GI Joe love and craze and the hype, because it did die down just a little bit. But at least putting into scale perspective, you can see the figure compared to how big the vehicle is, and I can already tell you now this. I mean, we've seen images of the comparison. So the HISS tank is as big as, goes up from the back to the edge of the front tire, the back of the front tire. So therefore, yeah, I don't know. Let's see if there's any more photos though. We got the LED lights on, which is fine. The doors are open. We got the missiles shooting up in the air. That looks cool. Fine. We got dandruff or dust on the engine or something. You know what's funny though? I honestly if you guys, even for those that did back it, and this is just for funny jokes, but even if you guys left this on display and it collects the dust, it would make no difference to what you see now. Because my HISS tank right now is collecting dust, sadly, because I have no place to put it. So it's it's near like the corner of my room. But even then, when it collects dust, it looks as equivalent as to what I see the snow effects on this. So therefore, I see no difference. Billy says currently at 7,200 backers. Oh shit. Okay, that's good. So we should have it fun by the end of the week. Now the only way that this thing is gonna shoot up the only thing that this thing is gonna shoot up in backers is on Saturday, if they happen to entice us with a brand new Arctic character saying, if this thing gets fully funded or whatever, then they should, if the GI Joe team is hopefully smart, they need to put in iceberg, cold front, wind chill, or something as a name only reveal to say you're going to be getting those figures sometime next year or down the line or whatever to accompany your Snowcat when it releases. But I don't think they're going to do that. But fingers crossed, because that's the only way that all the other tiers are going to be unlocked. Nathan Paul, welcome to the chat. He says, I watched chat on Full Force with Lenny saying that their focus groups overwhelmingly chose a Snowcat for next Haslab. Time for some new focus groups. You know what, man? The hell with the focus groups. They need to ask real G.I. Joe fans what they want. It's not rocket science. They don't need to go to a focus group where people who are in that group, they probably may or may not know G.I. Joe to an extent. If they ask real G.I. Joe fans like you guys or me or whoever the hell they want to ask, we could probably head them in better direction. Because I feel like a lot of these people in the focus groups are like, wow, this looks really cool, do it. Versus if I was at that round table, I would have been like, don't do a Snowcat. You're throwing a curveball in the classified line. It's a good vehicle. Don't get me wrong. Again, it's a really good vehicle. It's just it came too soon. It should not have been this early in the line. Or you know what would have been even more better is that they should have released all the Arctic characters. No, maybe that probably wouldn't have been a good idea. Never mind. Anyways, Frostbite looks pretty cool. I love the textures on the fur. The goggles look nice. The face sculpt looks great. The figure is good. So no issues there. Holonet says, who are the real G.I. Joe fans? That's a really good question. I don't know. I guess you just have to watch other G.I. Joe YouTubers and see how good their knowledge is. My only indication to know who... Well, maybe the word real is not like a proper wording, but in terms of to be a G.I. Joe fan, it's like... You have to at least own a lot of the original O-ring figures back in the day and know the hype for it. Should at least know basic history and knowledge from the comics, at least, have at least seen the actual cartoon. And yeah, I mean, I think those are probably one of the three or four. I don't know. Anyways, let's see what else we got here. But otherwise, Frostbite looks really good. Fur, all that looks nice. Gloves, fine. Look at that skeleton on the bottom left. Zoran says, I'm skipping all your informative comments. Which one? Focus on proper sizing. There you go. I read it. BooCat says they could have easily run a poll on their Pulse or Twitter or list of vehicles. But see, the problem is of doing a poll, though, is that it would kind of ruin the excitement of what the Haslab is, right? Because if we already knew a year in advance, let's say this PulseCon, they reveal like, okay, here's a poll for next year's Haslab. Yes, it would be exciting that we can all vote for what it is, but at the same time, it would also be like, okay, we already know what's coming, so then the excitement is kind of gone. So I think the mystery kind of disappears when we're voting for it, but at the same time, I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, Frostbite looks good. More Frostbite photos, more dandruff, alternate head sculpt. Ooh, look, we got Lady Jaye now. Uh-oh, I think we're heading towards the bivouac. We're heading towards the sausage and eggs. Well, I'm gonna miss you, Zoran. BooCat says, I got mine in today. Flaming Crow says, I remember in the cartoon there were times when this thing looked massive and other times not so much. I mean, it was also in there in the G.I. Joe 87 animated movie where Nemesis Enforcer Immortal picks up the Snowcat and then he uses his little spike thingy and then chucks Snowjob out of it. Let's see. I remember Couchboy says 4 now, but I missed some commercials. Botched watch it. Shark said my name. Sorry, man. Airplane City, welcome to the chat. Says GI Joe fan roundtable would approve a $3,000 Defiant hat. Oh, okay, yeah. No, okay. I think you're right. I think we would probably think the unexpected. I think we would probably be like give us a damn USS flag. Rocky Teller says, anyone else feeling like a dumbass right now? From Snowjob Robot Chicken. I'm surprised we never got a Fang, says Couch, but I'm sure the Fangs are coming. Those are very easier to make for sure. Awesome head sculpt, says Benedict. Jason says, change Lady Jaye to a bikini fit. This thing funds 100%. Ooh. BooCat says, I just want this Lady Jaye to replace the previous ones they've given us. Well, see, that's the trick though, right? Because now you have to invest in a Haslab in order to get this very nice looking head sculpt of Lady Jaye. Although I'm sure that people will sell theirs on eBay for those who don't want it, but it's going to be at least over $100, that's for sure. Maybe $80 at most, 80 to 100 just because it's a Haslab thing. But let's see here. Yeah, but you're not wrong though. This is definitely the best Lady Jaye head sculpt we've gotten since Classified started. So bravo to the G.I. Joe team for making this good head sculpt part of the Haslab. Well played. Good marketing. But yeah, otherwise the figure looks fine. I mean, Alan says, do they not have Lady Jaye in with a Snowcat display? Way to mess that up, Hasbro. I think she's underneath it. I think there's layers of the display case. So the Snowcat with Frostbite is on top, and then Lady Jaye is like on the bottom. The Brandon 2807, welcome to the chat, says we should have gotten all the winter figures first before this Haslab because I really wanted all tiers unlocked. Yeah, I mean, it can go either way. Like if they had all the figures prior to the Haslab Snowcat, then chances are people would have been like, I only collect figures and not the vehicles, and maybe that could have affected it a lot more in the long run. So now their only way for all of this to unlock is to announce new figures this Saturday. They have to reveal or announce new figures this Saturday, part of the Arctic team, in order to entice us to get all 3 tiers unlocked. I'm pretty sure she might get unlocked, but the other 2 seems a stretch. Maybe the bivouac at best, but ooh, look at that nice head sculpt. Very good. 10 out of 10. I like this one though. Also, shout out to everybody who's watching right now. Shout out to the chat for those that are in the chat right now. I just checked the numbers. We almost hit 200 people watching tonight's stream. So holy shit, thank you guys so much for that. I really do appreciate that. Means a lot to me, man. You guys have no idea. Thank you so much for that. Let's see if we get a bivouac image. We got a drill for the ice. We got her fishing pole. I would probably use that for NECA Jaws. We got this nice little, what do you call it? Rack for the weapons. Pretty cool. But then again, imagine at 10,000 backers, this is what you're getting, a square little piece with, like, I mean, I really do apologize for shitting on this too much, but it's just one of those things where I'm trying to find a way to make sense for the value that we're getting for the $325, if that makes sense. Alan says 10,000 backers. Robert says, I want in a camouflage desert all-terrain. That would have been sick. Lawrence Witzel, welcome to the chat, says, I like the Nodu? William says they should have had that Snowcat tackles the hill on that display showing off the suspension. Oh, that would have been nice, yeah. Ooh, for $325, you'll be receiving the $70 fire pit. I'm going to hell, man. Oh, man. I'm such an ass. That's okay, man. What do you guys think of this? I mean, okay, like, it looks nice. It's translucent plastic. You got some reds on top, some oranges, some nice gradient mixes with yellow and orange. It's fine. The rocks, nice looking rocks. More dandruff on the sides. Very cool. Don't know how I'm going to utilize this in photography, or not photography, like, unless they should have made this an LED flame fire pit. You know, put some batteries there on the bottom, light it up, and that way you can have like a nighttime. Robert with the jokes says, you're going to hell if you won't need the fire pit. That's true. Lauren says, I like the no dusting effect. Hopefully that's what you mean. A. Romo says, I noticed one thing about the coat leather. There are no microphones. Just saying. What? Coast leather, there are no microphones. There's hot dogs. Where are the hot... Oh, I can zoom in on the coffee cup. But no, because I don't want the computer to kind of go haywire with all this extreme zooming in and stuff. So this is sadly the best I can do for the time frame. But there is a nice coffee cup though from Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons is a Canadian brand, right? Tim Hortons, I believe. Looks like we got a Tim Hortons coffee cup there in the background. Oh, shout out to Mr. Samson. This reminds me of the Star Wars Ranker Haslab all over again. Although this will fun, the tiers are awful and uninspiring. Ooh. Mr. Samson throwing in fire into the flames of the pit. I don't care says I'm actually hoping for the bivouac to unlock. Hopefully we get an image of the bivouac. Ooh, look at that. Look at that fish. Look at the love and care that we're getting with this. The heat burners. Very, very nice. Best way to to warm up those fishes. Those fishes look like they got white eyes though. Cold Slither says A Romo. William says not quite real looking fire. Robert says Shark, you are alone on your hate for the bivouac. It's okay, man. I'll take it. The flame is removable. Nice. Ranker was 3,000 under Samson, right? Is that what, mackerel? I don't know. I'm not a fish guy, even though I am a shark. Robert says it's a baby shark. Oh man, my ancestors are getting grilled. Ooh. This looks nice. Wow, yeah. Gotta stay warm. Radio. Okay, that's fine. No issues there. Welcome to the chat. Just kidding. Flaming Crow. Oh, I read that. Alan says, where are the sausages? I don't know. Hopefully we see something. This is a nice accessory. No issues there. Oh, right. We got Flint. Flint looks cool. Newer. I think it's... Is it the same head sculpt? Or I think it's a little updated. Not sure. Brown gloves. We got a little patch on the side arm. We got... yeah. I mean, the fur is not as textured as Frostbite's fur, so it looks like it's a little bit slightly less detailed to Frostbite, but the jacket, I guess it's fine. I think it's reusing some of Frostbite's biceps, and then the pants are probably the same. Robert says Flint looks good. Flaming Crow says Flint has the sausages. Oh, okay, so maybe we might see that. We got some little dust bunnies in the background. We got an alternate Flint head on the bottom. Flint with a microphone and head. That's all cool. Billy says Flint needs a 5 o'clock shadow. Yeah, he looks a lot younger compared to the original first release, that's for sure. Holy shit, look at those eggs. Very nice. Very nice eggs. Those are some big yolks, man. But nice eggs though. The pan looks cool. That looks like this. If you have any wrestling fans in here, that looks like the same pan you can use for your wrestling action figures. You can reenact the same scene where Vince McMahon was in the hospital bed and Stone Cold Steve Austin hits him with the frying pan, or the little pan thing. And that oh man, probably one of the best scenes Stone Cold's ever done. Benedict says he doesn't look drunk like the retro version. Couchboy says removable. Friggin' Flint's head burn. What? Burn as the driver Lee uses the cot. Xeno Prime 1 says it will never make it. How many we need? What? How much we need? 10. How much does this need? 16,000 backers? 12,000 backers? I don't remember. No, 14? No, I don't remember. Alan says over easy too. Damn. Xeno Prime says, oh no, what? Prof Polish, welcome to the chat, says I agree, Raj. Oh, Raj, welcome to the chat. I believe this is you're new to the chat, and so are you, Professor or Prof Polish. Raj says, I think if Yojo June had went better, there would be way less hate for it. It all looks great to me. Definitely hits the core memories. Nice. Listen, man, as long as you love it, you enjoy it, you're excited for it, that's all I care about. Whatever I say is honestly just an opinion. But if you love it, you enjoy it, then I'm very happy for you. Like, don't let whatever I say discourage anybody here in the chat. I'm just speaking my mind, so. But yes, if you're happy, then you're happy. That's all I care about. Honestly, at the end of the day, collecting should make you happy. Collecting should make you enjoy it. Collecting should take away stress from the real world that's going on, the black and white world. So if it adds a little color to it, then do it, man. Do it. Oh, we got the sausage. What the fuck is that? Oh my. That looks like a chopped off pinky. Oh my god. Who asked for the sausage? We got the sausage. Oh man. I mean, at least the sausage is cooked, right? It's not like raw. 14,000 for the full backing. Couchboy says 14,000. Mr. Sampson says that's what she said. Robert Wanless says we have 100. Oh shit. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 130. Oh, now 138 likes here. This is the all-time biggest record here on the live stream. I don't think I'm ever going to surpass this ever. So thank you to everyone who has liked this video, subscribed, and watching right now. All less than 165 people here in the chat tonight, or like in the stream. Thank you so much for joining, man. Thank you, thank you. Jason is saying yes. Benedict says 5-second rule to hit the ground. Forget the 5 second, man. If I'm freezing my ass off in this Arctic weather, I'll give it like 10 seconds. And plus, isn't snow like clean? There you go. We got the little fork there, whatever you call it. I forgot what you call it. For the sausages to rotate. We have another one that's on it. That's nice. I asked to glue that sausage between. Oh my god. Interesting, Jason. A Roma says 139. William says happy times. Couchboy says daddy would like a sausage. Alan says anyone else notice that from tier to tier it's been less requirements. Oh wait, we haven't even seen the bivouac yet. Flaming Crow says boo boo shark. All right, so we're back to the front here. Wow, I didn't see any bivouac photos. What's up with that? I mean, this looks nice. I mean, stickers, decals, tires, all that looks good. Look, there's something blue glowing in the little back of the snow. I wonder what that is. Is that a tease? Is that a hint for something? Is something supposed to be down there? I don't know, back there. I don't know if you guys can see it on your phones or the TVs or whatever the hell you're watching this on, but there's something blue glowing in the back. That looks like a very interesting teaser. Not sure what that is. Tires. So yeah, I mean, you guys tell me, for $325 included, would you guys have preferred them? Like, do you not care about these the rims not being painted or colored, or do you not, or do you care that it's just not care that it's just all gray? Does it need some kind of incentive? You tell me. Maybe every day would they add more to it? Yeah, they could add more to it. That's true. Raj says the divers and the retro bats look awesome. Yes, they do look good. I agree with you on that, Raj. FNL Forever says, I had 2 friends cancel their Snowcat today. They need 2 or 3 more tiers. One friend said the first ones are skipping now. What's today? Today's the 23rd, so we still have about, what? Till August 14th. So about like a month? 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. Xeno Prime says the rims look like trash. They look like trash like that. Mr. Sampson says that's what I thought. A Romo I don't care says they need to be yellow. Oh, were the original rims yellow in the original Snowcat from back in the day? Vux Nut, nice name, says welcome to the chat. I believe this is your first time here. Says I think it needed more firepower. It can only attack 6 times. That is a very valid point. Give me a second. I gotta go back. Who is it? Vux Nut says it needs more firepower. So you guys in the chat, let me know how you feel about this, because Vux Nut makes an interesting point. Let's say they utilize all missiles on the Snowcat. It doesn't have. Does it have gunpowder anywhere? Am I missing something? Can you guys let me know? Am I blind? Because once they utilize all those 6 missiles, then what? Then it's like you got to pull off a Chuckles from the 1987 movie and takes one of the missiles and actually throws it at his tank. Maybe you got to do like a badass mission like that, because I don't see any special guns or firepower. Let me see here. A Romo says Arctic Bat. Ooh, that would be nice. Only Awesome Action Figures, welcome to the chat. I believe it's your first time here. Says it's a mass device. Ooh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, because you're right, because they're using Snake Eyes right there. Oh, shout out to Only Awesome for digging deep into that one. That's the yes. Okay, thank you so much, Only Awesome. Shout out to you on that one. Boocat says rims need something to break up all that flat gray. Yes, you are 100% correct. So that's one of the things I have issues with, right? Because I know sometimes people tell me, oh, if Shark has a problem with the coloring on some of the figures, or why don't you just paint it? I'm like, the point is, if you're spending $320 something on a big ass vehicle like this, I don't need to put in time to paint it. I shouldn't have to put in time to paint it to make it look better. You know what I mean? Like, it should already be better. But I don't know. That's just my mentality. Jason says add 100 more sausages. This fully funds. True. William says military vehicles are like that. I see. Robert says I think it's just a model and it's missing some paint. So okay, hopefully it is still the prototype. Couchboy says 10 people fire guns from the back. Alright, that's fine. The original snow treads were black on the original Snowcat. Jason says, after all the missile launches, icebergs, I don't want to say that word on stream, but while Lady J Falcons and sausages to get the hell out of the Dodge. Robert says, I guess you just have to run over Cobra when you're out of ammo. Mr. Sampson says, I was just thinking about Chuckles throwing the missile. See, me and Mr. Sampson, we go hand in, we're eye and eye on this. I was about to say hand in hand, but that sounds funny. Alright, let's see what else photos we got. More details there. Where is the bivouac? Missiles. We have the snake armor. We have the polar bear, which looks cool. We have Snake Eyes, mass device Snake Eyes, so that's cool. Abram says, I'm with you on that, Shark. Awesome. Christopher Moody says that blue light behind the diorama looks just like poor craftsmanship. It's a hole that's letting their blue LED light around the base of the display shine through. William says one could argue a vehicle at this price should be an RC. Only Awesome says they said they were going to paint the wheels, rivets in the live stream. Oh, okay. Okay, that's good then. Thank you. I appreciate that. Mr. Sampson says, I'm going to paint my mainframe figure in retro gray colors. Robert says, I can't stop staring at the Dio. Yeah, me too. We all can't. No, but seriously, where's the... Oh! There's more. We have the Cobra Claw figure, and according to a lot of people, this figure is shipping out soon, or it's already shipping, I believe, one or the other. I did say that this is definitely one of my favorite female Cobra figures in the classified line, so I have no issues with this one. This is a straight out 9 or 10 out of 10 figure. The claw looks great, the figure looks great, and I think what I really like about these past few waves in the classified line is that they've utilized a lot more silvers than muted and dull grays. Of course, the version 4 Snake Eyes still has it, but at least with the goggles and whatever, it looks like they're using it's not vac metal, but it looks like they're using a lot more silvers, which I'm very happy about. The missiles are going to take out the bear. It's probably a transformer. It's probably that polar battle bear transformer from the 90s. William says the claws in the mail. Robert says there's where my claws are. 49er says they took my money for the claw. Nice. Nathan Paul, welcome to the chat, says my claws have shipped yesterday. Elvin Martinez says claws shipped yesterday. Nice. Congratulations. I'm happy that everyone is getting your claws. Very good. Who said about Law and Order? 49er says Law and Order looks bland. So we mentioned this in one of the previous live streams like a few months ago when this first revealed that Law and Order had traditionally, what is it, like a light blue vest? So chances are we could be seeing a light blue version vest somewhere down the line, because they're utilizing a darker blue vest for this figure. And I believe they said, I don't know if whoever paid attention to the stream said that the reason why they didn't cut the vest open, because the original O-ring had the vest open with the red shirt underneath. Perhaps we could get a retro Law and Order at some point with a lighter blue vest. I don't know if that's a big enough incentive for people, but it is something. Big Rib, welcome to the channel, or the chat, sorry. Good to see you, brother. Shout out to Big Rib. Robert says, haven't received my shipping notification yet, damn. Mr. Sampson says, if the Snowcat were remote control, like being able to control the missile launchers, it would be more acceptable. A remote control Snowcat. I mean, that'd be interesting. 49er says, Law and Order's helmet looks weird. I think it has a little scratches and dings on it, so I think it's battle damage. I don't know. I don't know if there's a clean version of that, because I can see that there are some like stress marks and stuff on it. So we have a better version or photo of Law and Order. That looks dope. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I have no issues with this one. Let's see what else we got here. Where's all the bivouac love? Very cool. We have the cot where Lady Jaye and Flint will be making love in. Very nice. Okay, so I thought this whole time that we weren't going to get any bivouac photos, but it looks like we got it, so that's great. Robert says was a comic kid and not a cartoon. Boocat says we finally found it. Yes. Robert says the bivouac. Couchboy says the pets all impress me. Yes, I actually do love all the pets that the classified team is making so far, so that's good. Only Awesome says MP my pocket. 49er says would anyone use this in the snow? I don't know. So I'm not too bivouac savvy with this, but this is more of a resting ground, right? I mean, like, I'm sure the snow will still hit you from left and right, but if the snow is falling, depending on whatever angle it's at, it's more for you to just, I mean, you're still going to freeze your ass off, but it's just kind of to, like, what do you say, to unwind for the time being. Ionic Blood says bivvy action. Jason says needs more sausages. A lot more. Robert says the pets are so good I might back the Desert Scorpion. I mean, the Desert Scorpion looks fantastic. That is a really cool looking set for sure. Let's see, do we have anything else? I mean, the crazy part is, like, it looks really good, but how many backers do we need for this? This is 12,000? 12,000 backers for this. Yeah, so we need 12,000 people just to even make it to the Arctic Flint, which, again, the only way this is going to help the classified line is if they announce Arctic figures on Saturday. I will keep my eyes glued for the Saturday panel and make sure that we see some Arctic figures revealed or released for it, because they definitely need to do something about that. Oh boy, okay, so it looks like we are done. Okay, I think that was the last one. Yep, alright. So let me refresh this page real quickly and then make sure that we didn't miss anything here. Nope. All right. So Couch Boy says Shark Chats are the best nights in Talking Joe and people care. It's the best. Thank you so much, man. That warms my shark heart a lot. Thank you so much for that, Alan Balcom. I really do appreciate it. So shout out and credit goes to all the folks over at histank.com and Toy Arc and the Transformers News Source and Taku Nation, for all those people. Thank you guys for the photos, man. You guys are awesome. If you want to see more updated shots, the link is obviously right there. I will post a link to this in the description below. But for now, I think that will wrap up the pre-show, because we should be getting some more updated figures by tomorrow and then Saturday. So okay, you guys have to remember, when they announce and reveal figures, they also put up new figures on display. So hold on, nobody leave yet. Nobody leave, give me a second. Where am I going here? So there's a really good chance that we could see these name only reveals either on Saturday, maybe on Sunday, maybe even tomorrow. Maybe we could see a Night Viper reveal, maybe we could see a Reddog or Taurus reveal, maybe we can see a Flash reveal, because those were listings that we know were coming into the classified line. So there's a really good chance we could see those. Saturday we could see probably even Desert Scorpion. We have the Steel Core Sentry and with Defense Post. Hold on, we still have all these amazing figures, amazing waves. So oh my god, I'm so damn excited. I don't know why. We could easily see sci-fi on display this weekend. We could see Wetsuit, we can see Mainframe on display. Anything is freaking possible. So that is why I cannot have an actual schedule of live streaming. Whenever I see photos go up, we have to I will go live, so I hope you guys can join it. But I don't think anything will top off other than tonight, because we almost had 200 people viewing tonight's stream. So holy shit, thank you guys so much for that. But I'm really excited. And as 49er says, yes, prayers go out to Night Viper that he looks good, because holy shit, I'm so scared. I hope they don't botch Night Viper, and it's not like an Alley Viper or Trench Viper repaint shit. So Mr. Sampson says 155 likes. Good stuff, man. Who said that? Hold on. Only Awesome says, I'm glad I found your channel again. Thank you so much, Awesome. I'm glad you're able to join. Thank you so much for being here again. Thank you to everyone who has supported this channel this far. Yeah, we still got 3 more days. This is just the pre-show, guys. We still got like the official day starting tomorrow, and we could get more reveals and stuff. So other than that, I'm gonna leave off on a really good note that I will be streaming probably 2 or 3 more times starting tomorrow. So if you guys can join, that'd be great. Otherwise, if you guys watch the stream later afterwards, that's awesome too. I still thank you for watching and taking the time. So to everybody that was in the chat, I freaking love you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time and spending your Wednesday nights with me. For those that were watching but were not in the chat, thank you so much for still watching. For all of the 158 or 59 likes that we have, almost 160 likes on tonight's stream. Holy shit. Thank you guys so much for that one. That's freaking amazing. And what else? The last thing I was gonna say, shit, I was gonna say something but I forgot. For all the people that are gonna watch later, thank you so much for joining. Oh, and thank you to Firefly for donating to the channel. Thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate that. So hopefully I'll probably see you guys tomorrow night or Friday night or Saturday night or even Sunday night, maybe Saturday afternoon. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for joining tonight's stream. Shout out to histank.com for the photos and all the people there. Thank you guys for joining tonight's stream. I'll probably see you all in like 24 hours for another stream probably. If not, again, just look out for the SHARKNEWZ and stay notified and subscribed. So otherwise, thank you guys so much. So love and respect to every one of you. Thank you guys so much. And oh, I will be providing pre-order links for tomorrow's Cold Slither 4-pack and the Walmart's CollectorCon NIGHTFORCE Beachhead and QUICKKICK 2-pack. So stay tuned on the post tab page. I will provide links for those as well. Thank you guys so much. I love you all. Thank you for making this first stream one of the best that I can ask for on the channel. So thank you guys so much. I will see you guys all in the next stream. Have a great night. Hug your loved ones. Eat well. And I will see you all in the next stream. And thank you to the almost 200 people that we had here on the stream tonight. That was freaking awesome. I love it. Thank you guys. I'll see you all tomorrow or the day after, whichever. Yo.